Okay, greetings or good evening, everybody. It is Monday, May 12th. You are watching the Convergence Report with Mike Thomas, broadcasting live from the downtown Windsor Business Accelerator right here at 720 Olette in Windsor, Ontario, on XE's TV live stream by Noxtrom Digital Media. Tonight on the Convergence Report, it's going to be Elections Ontario. Like I kind of talked a little bit. My last show was the day that the budget came out, and Andrew Horvath was saying that it was not going to happen. That budget was going to fail, and then Kathleen Wynne called an election basically almost at the exact same time within the next day, so May 1st into May 2nd. And of course, where's Robbo? Okay, that seemed to be it. I've been away for about a week, but where's Robbo? I have a little bit of fun with that. I kind of started off with a Where's Waldo kind of blend to it, and that seems to have grown with our social media and Facebook karma, but that's what seems to be what's going to be happening. Again, XE's TV is live streaming this. We asked, we definitely, Noxtrom Digital Media, the Noxtrom channel, just went over 25,000 views. Thanks to you, thanks to everybody viewing, whether it's live or you going over to YouTube after that. But we still ask you, please subscribe. Like us on Facebook, but please subscribe to the Noxtrom channel and just keep those views coming, as we are, can tell you, the best local programming here in Windsor, Essex, and I really do believe that. We actually do an excellent job. So today, I keep going to Facebook, the Thought Police. I really had something on Stephen Harper. There was a lot of fun with Stephen Harper over the last couple of weeks again, but I kind of focused on the election itself. And it is definitely a brave new world, which I'm going to show to you in a minute, because you know what? I saw that, and I talk about this every week. I saw that on Facebook, and guess what? That is part of the show. And we can, we're going to tally the strength of the votes by how many likes the leaders are getting. Wait and see. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun thing to watch. I guarantee it. And of course, the election starts off as it always does. I use some of the same slides because I just like them. I wish I had a green one. I wish I had an orange one. I would have all the colors represented. But here we go. It started right off the bat. You did it. No, you did it. And that's why we're in election right now. And it kind of started off, and if you kind of rehashing it very quickly for everyone, they really thought that the budget that put forth by the Liberals and Kathleen Wynne was a good budget, that it should have been a budget that the NDP and Andrew Horvath, it kind of looked like that they should support it, that there was some things on their wish list. There's one thing, obviously the Liberals are running the show, so there's some things that weren't on their wish list, but it came right very, very clear from the onset that this was not going to happen. An election was going to be called, and it started right off, I think, with a closed chamber reading, and Andrew Horvath and the NDP decided not to participate in that, which really gave the inkling of what was going to happen next. And then there was then they kind of showed up for the open reading, and there was a mad dash and scramble as the announcement was made that, I will tell everybody, Andrew was going to, I will tell everybody what's going to happen. We'll make our announcement 10 a.m. There was a 10 a.m. Friday, May 2nd. So that kind of led Kathleen Wynne to already meeting with the Governor General of Ontario and kind of setting up a date. And it was really all that it was predestined at that point in time, regardless what anybody else was going to say, including Tim Hudak. So it kind of moved on very, very quickly, and the race has begun. The race begun with, of course, up in our top corner there, we have Andrew Horvath of the NDP. Ontario, Kathleen Wynne, your current premier in the minority government of the Liberal Party, down to my other right over there, it's Mike Shriver. He's from the Green Party. And again, I'm going to show you how it's all going to blend together. And of course, Tim Hudak, who thinks he's still running the show, thinks that he's making the decisions going forward, and still spouting out about his million-job plan. It's almost unbelievable. I don't want to go there quite yet. So we're learning this time here, just so everybody's knowing, we're trying to be a little bit more interactive with our show. And this is what we're going to take a look at. Well, I'm going to put this one up first. We're going to put this one up first. It's called, it's from CBC News. You got to give the credit where the credit's due. They got this new thing up there, and it's for everybody in Ontario. Okay, if you want to do the vote compass and the 2014 Ontario general election, explore the political landscape. There's a series of questions that says get started now. Responses, over about 40,000 responses so far to the particular website, and it's really quite simple. You can say, I'm not eligible to vote in Ontario at all, but if you are, we're going to do a little bit of playing right here myself. This is interactive live TV as we speak, okay? And we're looking, okay, which riding? You put in what riding is your section. I am going to do who I am. I kind of play with a little bit today to see how interactive it was. It looked like it was relatively simple. Windsor-Tecumseh is where I'm from. I am not under 18 years of age, and I vote. I'm ready to start, and I want to go. So let's take it through here in regards to different the progress, whatever, and it gives you questions. Here's some questions. When businesses make a lot of money, everyone benefits, even the poor. And then I'm going to have an unbiased. You know what? Maybe I'm not going to do unbiased. I'm just going to say, when businesses make a lot of money, everybody benefits, even the poor. Well, I'm going to somewhat disagree with that because I don't think the poor is ever in a position to benefit from anything. And then government should provide bailouts to large corporations that are struggling. And I kind of look at the word bailout because what it was they kind of supported it. They helped the companies, like we really want to say it as GM and Chrysler's at the time, and they did what they needed to do. But there was stock in lieu of, and there was some front monies given up, and at that they really did. And the American side of the border did what they needed to do. So I think bailout is kind of not the best word ever. It's never ever been the best word ever, in my opinion. So should they provide a bailout to the ones that are struggling? I'm going to say, I'm not going to go all the way there. I think you have to take a look at it. You have to kind of figure out what is happening, what needs to be done. Okay, but if it creates jobs, sustains an industry, then I'm going to somewhat agree that we need to take a look at that. So how much regulation should be on business? Well, very, very, what do you think? How much regulation? I think there's got to be some regulation. It can't just be this free global world. Honestly, for Canadians, we're not coming out of it when they can say what they want. We're resource-based right now. If you got resources, that's great. If you've got manufacturing, you're tied to manufacturing, those are fleeing our country, and the jobs are fleeing, and it's turning into service. And then we gave them what? We gave them even some temporary foreign workers, and they ran with it. So we need to have, I'm going to say, we're going to need to have much, much more on those businesses because they need to be looked after. They can't take care of themselves. The greed always comes through. So how much tax do corporations pay? I'm going to say somewhat more. I'm not going to say tax. You can't tax them to death or they won't stay. But there's got to be a fair paying of the taxes. There's got to be a benefit for both sides. They create the jobs, they perform the business, they keep the economy rolling. But at the same time, there's things we need to do to make sure that we're having a good economy and a good workforce. I think I went a little quick there. There should be no government funding for abortion. You know what? I'm going to go neutral on this one. If you want to tweet me back and forth, I'm not here to rip off the top of the abortion discussion in this particular show, so we'll go neutral. Here's another good one. Oh, man, they're hitting all of us. It's going to tell you where you sit on the left-right. Okay, the left-right pattern there. Prostitution should be treated like any other commercial activity. Well, I'm going to tell you, it's already there. They're trying to monitor it. We're going to hit all the big ones. I'm going to say I agree. It should be treated. It is a commercial activity. It's created jobs for the people that need to have or want to perform those particular duties, I guess, if you want to call them duties. Terminally ill patients should be able to legally end their own lives with medical assistance. Well, you know what? I'm going to say just because. And I guess we can look at some of the diseases that are worse. Like if you're struggling, you don't have quality of life, I'm going to strongly agree that we need to take a hard look at that as long as you have a mechanism in place to make it safe for families, safe for the individual that is afflicted. So therefore, you got to take a look at that. Marijuana should be legalized. Okay. Well, I'm going to somewhat agree just to make sure I don't get too many tweets or posts on the Facebook there. And how much should college and university students pay for education? I'm going to tell you somewhat less. Okay, they can call it a business all you want. It is a business. They should make some money, but it is at the end of the day, we're supposed to be focused on the students, get them an education so they can keep our country growing. And if you can't afford to go, some fall under the wheels of the bus, there's no doubt, because of the cost. And we need to take a hard look at that and take a hard look at scholarship monies and bursary monies that sit in the vault, not handed out to anybody. That would help if we can do that. Oh, Catholic schools should no longer receive funding from the government. Well, that's another very, very, we're hitting all the hard topics today. And I think again, as far as opinion goes, they really need to take, again, another hard look at that particular system. We have duplicate systems, and you're going to see that, again, with the multicultural diversity that Canada is becoming, okay, do we lock it down essentially to just one, like to a religion only? Okay, then we have like kind of the grade school, the public system, and the Catholic system. I think they should really, I somewhat agree that they need to take a look at that. And just the way that it's double income families, that you have to work just to survive. It's not as great out there as everybody says to believe, so we can help. We can help strongly agree that full-day kindergarten should be filled in the schools. You can call it child care all you want. Those kids need to be somewhere safe when the parents need to work. There's no doubt. Teacher salary tied to performance rather than seniority. No, I don't think so. I think it should be fair. I'm going to say I somewhat disagree with that. It should be. As the longer you work, the more benefits you get. It's always been that's the kind of driven system. How much Ontario centers should be from nuclear power? Oh, gee whiz. Man, they're hitting all of them. I'm going to say we need to get prices down. I guess we need to get more electricity. I'm going to say, about the same as right now. Should we build more wind farms? I'm telling you right now, I strongly disagree with that. Okay, I don't see what's going on. They're putting them up. The planning part of it. They're after planning. If you drive down the 401 and you drive down the 401 coming back home from Chatham or going up to Chatham at nighttime, holy cow! Can you have any more flashing lights come at you? It's taken away the landscaping at night and during the day. And we're still, like, our prices are soaring. Our electricity, hydro prices are soaring, and I don't understand that lead-in. Like, where is all this cheap hydro? Who's making the money off this? And I find it very, very wild. Drivers should be taxed more in order to pay for public transit. I don't know why drivers are paying more for public transit. Transit should be an automatic, and it should be, like, what, you're going to penalize them because they can afford to have a car? You have a lot more people that can't even afford car or car insurance, and they need public transit, and they need it now. Okay, so I'm going to strongly disagree with punishing the drivers because they have a car. No new oil pipeline should be built in Ontario. Nope, I somewhat disagree with that. We need to get the oil, and not to get the oil, I'm going to tell you right now, let's not get the oil to the East Coast and then ship it out. Let's take care of Canada. That's what we're missing right now. We're missing the fact that we're not taking care of our own, and we need to look at that instead of thinking that all our little 10 or 11 provinces or territories or whatever, that we're all individual. We should be working together. We'd be a much better country if we tried to work together. Environmental regulation should be stricter, even if it means consumers pay higher prices. Why does it always have to end up being higher prices? I think that, there's a green, and this is good for the Green Party themselves. There seems to be a tariff. If it's green, pay more. And I think there should be environmental regulations, yes, but they shouldn't pay higher. So I strongly disagree with that. How much should be done to accommodate religious minorities in Ontario? How much should be done? It's some questions I don't like, so I'm going to vote the same as now because I don't think that's a fair question. People trying to answer this, and we should immigration. If you look at Canada as a world country, 35 million people. We need more people in this country. Let's not play around. We need more people. It's not, and then maybe the jobs come with the immigration. They got to put together a plan, not temporary foreign workers, and let some of them in at the end of the day. We need to have a comprehensive plan that builds a larger Canada, and we've had all this time to do it, and we haven't done it yet. So I'm going to say we need to have somewhat more. Should be jobs with it too. Should workers be able to opt out of their workplace union? And I'm sorry, maybe I'm going to show my hand here, kind of throwing it out on the table there. No, I strongly disagree that you should be able to opt out. If you receive the benefit, then you have to kind of, if it's an insurance type of deal, you get the benefit, then you need to pay for the benefit. Nothing's free in life. As their own business will tell you, nothing's free in life. Ontario should require workers to save more for retirement. No, okay, people don't even have 2 nickels to rub together now, so why are you putting it on the workers? Okay, I strongly disagree with that statement. Minimum wage should be tied to inflation. Well, I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say I somewhat agree with that, but if inflation is at 0, man, that's going to go up really fast, isn't it? So be careful when you agree to something to say it's such a wonderful idea. When inflation was 10%, well, that sounded great, but it's only 0 to 1% or 1.52%. Don't think it's all that much money on a $11 an hour wage or minimum wage to begin with. Public sector unions should not be allowed to strike. I'm going to somewhat disagree. Again, some of these questions to me aren't that easy. That they need to be a little bit more definitive on what they're asking, so it makes it unfair to try to answer some of these. How much money should welfare recipients get? I'm going to say they should get a living wage. Okay, let's quit putting the stigma on them. If there were jobs, or for the ones that can't work, truly can't work, okay, for whatever the reasons are, okay, that they need social assistance. We need to look at that to make sure that they're not one of the last people looked after because they can't have a normal life of what everybody perceived to be normal. Get out there, get a resume, look for a job, get a job, and have a wonderful life. Okay, it doesn't work for everybody due to circumstances, and sometimes it's health. How much should the government do to reduce the gap between rich and poor? Okay, much more. Okay, let's not play around. Much more. Should the government really do it? I don't think so. But the policies that they're allowing on the one side of it for the rich, okay, is really, they're making way more poor than they are the very small percentage to be rich. So again, watch those questions. Social assistance provided by I'm going to say strongly agree, it's got to be the government. Okay, should people pay faster for access to mental treatment? Nope. If we're all Canadians and we're all equal, you want to spend your money, then go to the States. Okay, we need to have an equal program for everybody. That's what we need to have. People should have the choice to receive private or public health care. Again, no, people should have the choice. No, I just don't agree with that. We built a system. Let's make the system work for everyone and not end up with an American type system which is bleeding into us very quickly and Canadians don't pay attention and it's not happening. Government should increase funding for health care even if it means higher taxes. I'm going to say I somewhat agree. We should be able to try to find a balance there. And individual deaths should be reduced if it means cuts to education. And again, I am going to strongly disagree with that. Which the following should be permitted to sell alcohol at convenience stores, grocery stores, both. I'm going to say neither. I'm a big believer in LCBO. Keeps it under control. So you can keep playing along with this a little bit more. I can go through it and say, you can skip it. And this one here, you can say, I kind of did it. I put everything up to 8, 9, or 10. It really didn't make a difference. So you kind of get through that one. And then this keeps asking more questions. It just wants you to know, and it gives you the party. You kind of plug them into where you want. So I'm going to kind of leave that one at there as we speak. But this is, again, if you go back to the original, it is the compass. It is www.cbc. Okay, CBC News Canada, Ontario Votes 2014 Vote Compass. So go to that. Find out where you stand. Find out, what, maybe you thinking you're a big Tim Hudak fan, and then you kind of plug into numbers and find out maybe you're not, okay? Or even vice versa. Maybe you're way more Green Party than you think, okay? Check it out, try it out, okay, and kind of report back to the Convergence report and let us know how you made out. And that's the other part. I'm going to kind of start, I kind of have it in order. Again, trying to be a little bit more interactive today. And looking at people's Facebook, and this really would say they've got their, here's Andrea Horvath right off the bat. It's time for a premier who makes sense. That is her campaign slogan. I'm not going to kind of go through it. What I'm going to get everybody to look at and pay attention to, okay, and I'll kind of do this, is the likes, okay, because I'm going to show you a poll in a minute. The likes, so they're about 20. They're almost about 21,000 likes on their particular Facebook page. Is this really truly the new way to vote? We should maybe have Facebook likes instead of having to go. We could tie it in. I think Facebook could figure that out. Kind of tie it in. Very easy to vote. Maybe way more people are going to vote. But there we go. And she kind of has her plan. She talks about removing the HST on her hydro bills, right? So if you want to find out if you're internet connected and maybe you still have to do it the old-fashioned way and read the actual printed publication, but here, if you want to go and get on Facebook, and Facebook's not all about just, what do I do?
The HST, taking off the HST.
Off hydro, that's what she's asking to do, yes.
It's the first step to put the transportation tax on electricity with the electrical cars. So they remove the HST,
okay.
They put another incredible higher.
Yes. Okay. But they're saying, if you look at the big picture of things, as far as a policy, and when they change when one policy affects another policy and affects the transit, that's what Alex was trying to interject into the conversation. But anyways, look at this one, 20,000 votes. And if we kind of look at, we got Kathleen Wynne, and here's her Facebook page, and she's at 21,000 herself. So we're kind of looking at, and this is very curious as far as the likes go, because we're about 21,000, okay, for the NDP, 21,500 for the Liberals. And I don't know which, and this is where, again, I'm going to tip my hand on what my opinion may be, okay, that you've got Mr. Hudak. Well, he's about 7,000 ahead, 28,000 likes, million job plan, Ontario working better. And then, of course, let's not play around. You need to take a hard look at this. Say no to Liberal hydro rate hikes. That seems to be one of the big, huge campaign issues. No doubt it's been drummed up in every municipality and every location. But really and truly, how can you begin a million job plan, by cutting $100,000 really good jobs. That's what really needs to be looked at. And just to finish up with Mike Schreiner of the Green Party, and kind of falling into where they normally fall into at about 3,400. So again, you're kind of looking at the informal Facebook poll with the PCs being ahead. Close race between Liberals and NDP, and of course, coming up quite far behind is the Green Party. So this is Facebook. I saw that, or Facebook karma. So something really neat that we got to see as far as the beginning of election Ontario 2014. Okay, so let me get back to my slide for the clearance slide. Okay, and then we're going to go right there. Okay, and that's the one I'm going to try to show in the Ontario election. This is from the one I use anyways. I use 308.com, and this was projection for May 12th, okay, 2014, and looking at what they believe the Ontario vote projection, PCs at about 38. They kind of did their percentages move and says 39.6%. Okay, in the middle, or low based, okay, in the middle 39.6. Liberals are coming in about 31.1. Ontario's is 25.3, again, as far as the poll that they particularly used, and the Green it down to 2.8. And this is kind of the funny part. Not exactly the same. I can kind of bumping it up a little bit and saying that if you really go back to the Facebook likes, you know what, I'm going to keep tracking this, and whether or not, I won't talk about it the whole show, but you know what, can I track it, show you, do the Facebook likes, see what the predictions poll, and let's see how close it remains, or let's see what they kind of do to really pump up the election. Okay. Yep, no, I'm still good with that. So, and then it breaks down to how many seats. But that is what it is, and they're saying currently, so this election is what the fear was. If you want to kind of look at it, the fear was at the end was that the Liberals not being still taking kind of a kick, a little bit of a kick in the knees. Is the NDP truly ready? Do they have the support? Or is Tim Hudak going to just be a reincarnation of Mike Harris, okay, and sail right up the middle and do exactly what everybody is in fear of, okay? And that is the opinion of the day from the Convergence Report with Mike Thomas. And in saying that, I'm kind of looking at my techno crew. We're going to take a little break, okay? We're ready to take that break, and I will be back with the Convergence Report right after this. And we're back. It was a short break. Okay, we're back to the Convergence Report. I'm Mike Thomas, right? Live streaming through XE's TV and Noxtrom Digital Media, right here at the Downtown Windsor Business Accelerator. And again, I'm just kind of going into the, you just try to create new news, and it just doesn't never go away. So I kind of I didn't come up with this. I used Yahoo Canada. I did my research. I did my Facebook. I do my Facebook karma. I do my social media search, and I'll show you why I kind of built this in. But here it was. It all began with, you know what, I'm going to rehab, and a lot of people were standing back. Are you really going to rehab? Where are you going? Well, I'm going to Chicago. That's where I'm going to go. And it really became to is, where's Robbo? Okay, where's Rob Ford now? Is he in rehab? He's in Chicago. Where is he? And find, you know what, and this was done by, again, this was by CA News Yahoo. Photos play the Where's Rob Ford game. There are 6 already, okay, and he does, as he says here, as he does definitely, okay, it was styled by cartoonist Wes Tyrell, and he does an apology right to bed to Martin Hanford and the Where Waldo series, but he said he had to play with a little bit, and that's where we begin. And he actually says that, where's Robbo? He says, he's in there. He's in every one of these photos, okay, whether or not he's in rehab. That's, I guess, the basis. There was about 6 that he played with there, okay, and did a really, really significant or excellent job as far as playing the game. You can go to this at ca.news.yahoo, where photos play the Where It's Rob Ford game, and you can look from yourself. They guarantee that he is in every one of these photos. So, okay, so we kind of do that. And the reason I kind of brought that up, because this is what I put up on my last show when I was talking about Rob Ford and whether or not he was going to go to rehab, or what was he using rehab for. Was he using rehab to say, you know what, I'm going to go finally get help? Was there that much pressure put on him finally by his family saying, you know what, he is a mess? Okay, and that's when I kind of said, he was Waldo, okay, trying to find himself in the Chicago rehab. That's what he was supposedly trying to do. And then what we got from there, what we ended up getting from there, okay, was farewell Toronto to my little trip to Chicago. My daughter and boyfriend went to Chicago over the weekend. They didn't see him there, and neither did what do you call it? It's the Sun Times in Chicago. And they're saying Rob Ford is not there. That's the article they did. He voluntarily withdrew his application to the U.S. That's Consul General of Canada in Chicago, Roy Norton, confirmed to the Globe and Mail in an email saying the Toronto mayor was not denied entry per se. So they say he was not denied entry per se, but he was not allowed in. And so that's kind of where it all begins for Rob Ford. So then it goes, where did he go? Okay, and then it was everybody and their son. But now we're looking for him. Now we're looking for him all over the place. And we're trying to get it. So it was, as far as farewell Toronto, I guess it's not Chicago. Okay, I guess it was going to be, they're trying to think of whether or not he is in Homewood it's supposed to be a very, very significant, very important, or very good rehab facility, looking like Guelph, Ontario. And again, he said they flew to Chicago. He's left out. Did he go? His brother got on the news. His lawyer got on the news. And you know what? They kind of do, kind of tearing it up big time, saying, yeah, he's going to be, he's there. He's not making phone calls. And it's the same thing as we're always kind of seeing for that. But what we're looking at, there was a poll that went along with the Sun article. And this was done on kind of May 6th. So the poll probably continues on. But here it was. And this is what I kind of talked about a couple weeks ago. Does the public deserve to know where Mayor Rob Ford is? And 41% are saying, yes, we need to know. Those people, Facebook people, we need to know what Rob Ford's doing. Okay, and here we go. 59%. All of a sudden, out of the blue, like they'll stalk him all over YouTube. They'll watch him everywhere. But now the sympathy's coming out. And that's what I said when he talked about going to rehab. The sympathy's coming out because 59% of people say, "Oh, we got to leave poor Rob Ford alone." Okay, and this is where it already has begun. And it's kind of, to me, that's almost disappointing. But again, it was a calculated ploy or a calculated risk with what Rob Ford is doing. So let's keep an eye on, see what's coming back. They said initially that he was still running his campaign from wherever rehab he was in, and now they can deny all that. So are you really in rehab? It was just a way to disappear for a little bit, take the heat off, because the last two videos, and then everybody's just got apologizing for you. So we're going to find out. But see, look, it's already happened. I'm going to say it's already happened. Sympathy's building for Rob Ford. Be very, very careful out there, because you're going to, careful what you wish for if you think that he's going to be a better man when he comes out. This is just so that he can get elected. That is my opinion. And I kind of finish off the show with like I normally do. Don't forget we have the Cooked fundraiser. This is a group here. The Pilot for Cooked is a TV web-based series revolving around a rowdy group of friends work in a restaurant, struggling with life and inside the workplace. And it's done here. It's being filmed in Windsor. It's all local, and they're going to have on Sunday, May 18th, at the Dominion House at about 4 o'clock. They're going to have the Ashes of Soma will be there playing in support of this. Tickets are $20. Okay, you can go to www.ticketscene.ca. So help the gang out here with the fundraiser. It's something local Windsor, Canadian web series. You know what? And we wait for it to explode in the fall. That's when they plan to launch it.
We should invite them to the show.
Yeah, you know what? We might. You know what? That's a good idea. I just got it from Alex. We're going to try to get, if we can find a time to get the lead players here to come, the producer and the director, maybe there's a good thing leading into it, and find out what they need. They're going to have 50-50 draws and silent auctions, all kinds of great things. So that is what's happening on May 8th, or Sunday, May 18th. Again, take a look at like them on Facebook. Take a look at them on Facebook, okay, and try to get some tickets and come out and watch the Ashes of Soma play in support of the Cook series. And you know what, for all the local businesses that follow the show, Tuesday, May 13th, 6 to 8, which is tomorrow, it's going to be the Big Biz Mixer. It's the Bull and Barrel right across the street from the Downtown Windsor Business Accelerator. Right there. Oh, yeah, you know what? We're actually, we're we're broadcasting live right from the BizX Lounge. We should throw that one in there too. And it is. It said, giddy up, Biz Pros, because this is the first patio mixer of the season. $10 at the door with all kinds of games and fun things to do. And you can network and meet people and tell people what you're doing at this particular time. Got about 1 more minute. And you know what? My time is working pretty good. And I'm going to throw up my teaser. This is going to be my teaser. Hopefully for my next show, we're going to talk about Eddie Francis and the Windsor Family Credit Union job. And you know what? They are the #1 employer, or the best employer locally in Windsor, Essex. Will they still be the same way after Eddie gets there? I don't know. This has been the Convergence Report on Monday, May 12th, here with Mike Thomas. Thanks for tuning in. Again, don't forget, like us on Facebook, subscribe at Noxtrom channel, and we're over 25,000 views. Keep on watching, keep on building the best local programming in Windsor, Essex. Good night.